Hello and welcome to the Elevenses Business Show, where we take time out to reflect on your business, the business world, the technology, and all business success. So my name is Maureen Adams. I'm from Malion Accountancy Services Limited. My colleagues are...
Hi, I'm Maureen Egbe. I am the Digital Confidence Coach, helping you with your business, with your systems, so that you have the time to make the money and make the connections with your clients.
Hi, my name is Yejide Adere of Logic to Create, and I specialize in WordPress security services, audits, and planning. So if you need to secure your WordPress websites, I'm the lady to come and talk to.
Ladies, it's been a while. How you been doing? How's things?
Good. It's good to be back.
Yes,
Oh my
hard as usual, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're all okay and getting on with things.
How are you? How are you doing?
Me, yes, I'm cool. Everything's like flowing, still busy, you know, the normal, which is great. And then I'm trying to think about an intern as well, coming on maybe.
Oh, good.
Yes, I think that's actually a good topic to discuss with apprenticeship. And you know, this Kickstart thing as well. I've been seeing more and more about that. I definitely think that should be something on our list.
Okay, cool. I'll make a note of that. Thank you.
Don't you think it's exciting that you can think about growth and scaling up during these times?
Definitely. Oh my goodness. I'm a bit shocked actually, to be honest. I'm maybe a little bit overwhelmed too, because that's okay, a bit more work for me to do, but hey ho, you know, in the long run, it's gonna be great, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think obviously we're moving into the last quarter of the year, so we need to start projecting for next year and getting our visions in place for these things to happen.
You say the last quarter, I say the third quarter, so please, I beg.
Sorry, I can't say quarter, right? Third quarter.
No, that's what we got to talk about. I was saying this to Yej the other day. It's like, yeah, this is going to be my third quarter rather than my fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm going financial.
Okay, so anyway, today, ladies, before we get carried away, you know, our topic today is working with difficult people, stroke suppliers, stroke colleagues, you know, that kind of thing. So I've got three questions, three kind of parts, basically. So I'll quickly run through them. So the first one is obviously explain an experience you've had with difficult people, colleagues, suppliers, customers, blah, blah, blah. And then how you dealt with them, basically. And lastly, and not the least, any tips and advice for anybody who's going through at this particular time. Because not everybody has a voice, or everybody has the guts to say something, you know, that kind of thing. So, Yej, can you give us an experience you've had recently, maybe, or not?
Yeah, this is a funny one, because this is when I didn't know how to deal with difficult people. And I kind of was in a scenario where, you know, I was kind of at the lowest rank of the organization chart. I used to do a lot and had a lot of ideas and opinions, obviously. And also my SMT were very much not of my coloring and so on. So
SMT?
Yeah, senior management team.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, as an employee, I found that a bit difficult, and because I have a lot of ideas and I believe certain things should be a certain way, but when people don't listen to you, you just feel a bit whatever. Anyway, so what happened is that an email came in, and we had a difficult relationship already, but what I did with it was, because I basically read the email, got all like angst about it and annoyed, and then what I was supposed to do is forward the email and say blah blah, what are these people talking about, they never listen to us, all this kind of stuff. And then instead of pressing forward, I pressed reply. I basically replied them telling them no. So that just made it worse, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys have read this and all that. And you know, I apologize, I'm humble in it, like, but at the same time, I kind of, you know, obviously showed my feelings, and I didn't know how to handle the difficulties with these people. So yeah, so that was a major lesson learned. So now when I get emails and I feel like, oh, I have to kind of like step away from the email, have a think about it, maybe rewrite it about 3 times, and then make sure that whatever is sent across is professional. Because I guess in business and those kind of things, you have your reputation and credibility to think about. So as a more mature person and having my business is my priority and those kind of things, and valuing it and understanding how I need to portray myself, I'd learned the techniques of like deep breathing, just thinking things through. Maybe if I have a business confident to call, I can call them and discuss it.
Okay, hold your tips for now.
Yeah.
I've got a few more, but that'll be right at the end.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you there, your flow, but oh my goodness, you send an email. Oh my god. Anyway,
Yes.
Maureen, please, can you top that?
No. No.
Oh, come on, Maureen.
They didn't need the email from me. They just saw my face.
Uh-oh.
It's one of those
I want to see that. What happened?
So no, it is. It's a challenging one because I think that there's been so many different scenarios. I mean, even recently, but I'm not going to discuss about recently because it's too recent.
Okay.
Privacy. But anyway, so actually what's quite interesting is when I went for a walk yesterday with a friend of mine, and he was telling me about a similar difficulties at work. So that reminded me of a situation where I was put into work with a senior manager, and basically no one got on with this manager, and she was hard work, in terms that you couldn't have a conversation with her, and just made everything really difficult. So if I came with an idea, it was always knocked down. It was never ever good enough. In meetings, oh gosh, and what used to really annoy me is in meetings, if I had an idea and I shared it with the group, it would be quiet, and then she would come and then she would use my same idea, just swing it around, it's like in good English, and everybody would be like, oh, and I'm like, wow, what's going on? And the same thing as like what you pointed out, Yej, at the end of the day, I was the only black person on the team as well. So for me, that also made a difference. Then I slowly worked out that actually this wasn't about me. This was about that other person. Okay, because at the end of the day, you start feeling inferior and thinking that something's really wrong and I can't approach this person. And then I tried this tactic where I came in and I complimented her. So, how are you? Oh, you're doing really good. You do such great work. I think you should be applauded for everything that you do. And basically, I was just stroking her ego. And lo and behold, there it was. We became the best of buddies. It was always able to work with each other and so on. But for me, it just made it clear that sometimes it's not about you, it's about the other person, and not to take it on.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I had a little incident like yesterday in an email, but mine wasn't as bad as yours. Mine was just one word, like saying ridiculous. So it wasn't that bad. And my boss said, you know what, it's okay, because she would say the same thing anyway. So I was cool. But in my profession, with me, I've been to a lot of charities and worked in a couple of largest institutions, housing associations, basically. And with that, it's like in the position of money, and you need information to report on the money. You have to ask a specific person some stuff about their work, about their job, and in timescale limits as well. So sometimes you might get one or two people really pushing back at you to say that, oh, I ain't got time to do this, what do you want this for, blah, 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 blah. And some really had really stink attitudes. And first of all, obviously my back was going up us first, and I'm thinking, you know what, whatever, man. It's like I wasn't really rude to them, but I was like short with them. Then I learned, you know what, if I need the information on time from them, I have to change something. So what I slowly started to do was build a rapport with them. And as you say, Maureen, actually I didn't stroke their egos that much, but I just kind of like said, you know, how are you? How was your weekend? Slowly catch them. Should I say catch a monkey anymore? Anyway, yeah. slowly get their trust, you know. And the thing is, to this day, I know one of them is still quite difficult to work with, but we're the best of friends.
Oh.
It's weird. Like, I don't know. It's something that you have to capture something in them.
Yeah.
And just to attach onto that one thing. And then you can like just build rapport on that, you know, even if like to say, oh, they might go to a caravan. I love caravans. Where have you been? Blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing. You with me?
But I think that the thing about it, like what you were mentioning, is when you start taking it away from you, because then you become defensive. You don't want to be defensive.
Yeah.
Because then that's you reacting. And then that actually builds up then thinking, oh, well, you're the difficult one, rather than, you know, actually the clashes coming from your direction, first of all. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I felt highly defensive in that role and in that just whole environment. And just in my life in general anyway. So I guess it is that thing that when you're confident in yourself and somebody's trying to project something onto you, it's like, and it is either stroking the ego or just just trying to be as helpful as possible and in a way that makes them stop and think about how they're behaving or something. So I've learned that a lot and it works well. And some of it is just stick to the facts, right? Ain't got time for anything other than this A, B, and C. You know, 1, 2, and 3 don't count if you're having a fit or whatever you're doing. Let's just bring it back to what we actually require from this scenario. And I feel, I've been told that I don't have a lot of patience, but I feel like in those respects, obviously my example showed that I let my impatience get the better of me and my annoyance and everything else. But yeah, I've like spent a lot of time working on that because professionally, we're always going to encounter difficult people in one way or another, and we don't know how we're going to encounter it and when it's going to happen. So you always kind of have to have that ability to just switch on the pause button and just say, okay, try and see it for what it is.
I'm going to jump into what you're just saying there, just to continue it, and because I feel that for years I spent trying to defend myself, like, no, this is wrong, not accepting this, you know. And what happens is the fact is that I couldn't deal with this, the label of being the troublemaker.
Same.
You know, so I mean, I'm going to flip it around, because then now it's like you're the person that's difficult to be with, you know, when actually you're just standing up for your rights, when you're just actually just being clear. And I think what's really good, what I believe, like what you said, was facts. You can't argue facts, but it's the way that you put across the facts. Because if you put it across in a certain way that people aren't listening, then again, you're the aggressor. Yeah, you're the angry one, the chip on the shoulder, all of these different labels.
Yeah. And I think I recently had an incident, even just last week. Again, received the email with something, and I was just like, rewrote the email a few times. And I was gathered my facts, put the facts in the email, and then kept it moving. And then the response I got back was pretty calm. And it wasn't even between me and that person. There was a third person that was the aggressor. So it was just like, you know.
But how would you deal with somebody who comes back at you again? Like, for instance, I had an email last week or so, and the aggression in the email, I thought that wasn't even called for. I don't understand where that aggression is coming from. So I replied back, professionally, you know. I stuck to the facts. I didn't say, oh, how are you? Thank you for your email. No, but I just like, you know, said what I had to say, basically one-liner. And they came back at me again with something. I thought, you know what? This isn't my problem. And I thought, I'm not going to reply back to this because it's going to make the situation worse. But how would you have dealt with that? You think you would have, to be honest, I'm not sure what's worse, face-to-face emails, copying emails are very aggressive, or any written correspondence, very aggressive, but I'm not sure.
I feel like people have said that emails are aggressive and, oh, you wrote it in this tone, or text or WhatsApp. Yeah. It's like, that was not my intention at all. So whatever's you're feeling in your spirit, that's how you've taken it. So then the next thing is like, should we just have a conversation about this? Sometimes I don't even ask. I would just pick up the phone and say, oh, hi, let's, you know, clarify this point, or do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people is where they're at on the other end of that device or whatever, that they're feeling this emotion that you have no clue why this is happening. Do you see what I mean? Like,
you've got to be careful though. It is a fact that emails are harder to interpret than face-to-face. So in terms of, I think it was like 40 times people are going to interpret it wrong compared to face-to-face conversation. Because at the end of the day, you've got different ways that people communicate and way that they come across. So I talk to you, I will tell you, rather than fact, I'll tell you a story of my facts. You know, whereas when someone's just straight fact, they'll be like, oh, that's a bit too short. You know, so
obviously, you know how to write. You start learning how to write things in a certain way and so on and so forth. And to be honest, I don't really have that many like issues of in that respect anyway. But again, it's like, oh, should we have a conversation? But you know, when you were saying about the warning, I was thinking that you were going to say something that in respects of some people actually like to stick to emails and written communication if they want to prove anything later. And I don't know if this
was good to say that.
That's what I was going to say. So,
but sometimes
but keep that evidence.
Have that conversation. They don't want any commentation, but they'd rather have the conversation in an email or some kind of written correspondence.
Yeah, but again, I don't know, like really and truly, outside of employment life, I really haven't had that many scenarios, to be honest.
Well, I and I think it was in employment, as you said, that sort of situation usually arises. But also for me, it's if the communication starts with email, and it's like gets to a certain point, it's like, what's your goal? What's the outcome? What is it that you want to get from this, which can dictate where you want to go? You know, for me, if it goes too far, let's have a conversation. And then if it's still not resolved, I will follow up with an email to say, well, this is what our conversation was about, just to clarify the points. So again, it's all captured if something needs to happen at the end, you know, if we have to take it further.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, something to think about.
Yeah. The thing is that, okay, it's like the conversation I had with my friend yesterday. What's the bigger picture? What's the goal that you're trying to achieve? If you're going to get stuck in a back and forth, and it's not getting you anywhere, what's the point? You know, if the back and forth is going to lead you to an outcome that's going to help you with your big goal, then fair enough. If not, then you need to pick your battles. You need to know when actually, do you know what, this is not a big thing, and it's not about winning or losing, but it's about peace of mind and me focusing on the bigger picture and my goal.
And that's why I didn't reply back to that person, because they're not a direct client of mine. They're kind of like, you know, obviously indirect. But I just thought, like, you know, this doesn't make any sense to me, so I'm just going to leave it, because I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to think about it. I've got too much work to do to think about this right now. And as long as I even apologized for something I didn't even have to apologize for, but for just like being you know, professional and you know, and nice, and you know, as I am. But you know, it still didn't pacify them.
Yeah. See, now I feel a rank coming on.
Easy.
Coming on.
No, aren't. No.
No, listen, the thing for me is, and it goes back to the point you said, in terms of like the email, sometimes about is how they're feeling their emotions. It's not for you to take that on. It's not for you to take them on. Even if you pacify, and if they don't respond to the pacify, leave them.
Exactly what I did. I thought, you know what?
Leave them.
I haven't got time for this right now. Sorry.
It might be later on down the line that you can have a conversation, but at the miss, if the pot is too hot, let it cool down.
Woo! Is that a tip, Mo? Is that a tip? Okay, let's go to are we? So what are your tips, girls? I mean, you know, there's probably quite a few tips actually, to be quite honest, but what's your main tips you think you can deal with these kind of situations?
Take a deep breath, assess the situation for what it is. If you know that you're actually, if you put yourself into their shoes and understand where they're coming from and realize that maybe you are, you know, making them feel it, they're feeling the same way because of what there's something that you've done, then yeah, own up to it and yeah, apologize. I mean, apologizing when you don't believe is you didn't do it. Either way, you know, you can do that. And yeah, so sometimes it is just trying to step out of yourself and try and work out where they're coming from. If they are just totally irrational, then it's just like, okay, just find the best way to you know, sort the situation out. So for example, there's two kind of like website scenarios that I had many years ago with clients, and these people had their own issues, but to get the work done was difficult, so it just became difficult. And one of them called my bluff and was like, "Oh, we've got another person on the sidelines who can take over the work." I was like, "Great, that's fantastic. Send me their details. Let me know." And they were like, "Sorry, oh, we didn't expect you to come with that reaction." I was like, "What are you trying to play with me or something?" Because you've literally just been wasting my time, and now you're trying to blame me for all of these things that are not happening. And they were totally baffled. So that was getting rid of one difficult scenario. Another one, I don't like the service that you've provided. And I said, "Okay, but do you like the website?" "Yeah, I love the website." I was like, "All right, cool. You keep the rest of the money that you owe me, and I'll keep the one that you've already given me. I'm not giving you anything back because I've worked, you know, way too many hours on this project already." And they were like, "Oh, no, I can still pay you." I was like, "No, keep the money. If you're not happy with the service and you're not happy, but you're happy with the website, at least I've done something right. So I'll keep that bit, you keep the, but what should I do with the money?" I was like, "Give it to charity." "What charity should I give to?" "Whichever one that you want to give it to." Do you know what I mean? And it was a few £100s, and they kept emailing me, like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm positive." Because I was like, at the end of the day, the business is not just about money and just saying, "Oh, I've got it in the back." Like, if you're not happy with my service, then furthermore, I've already been like quite anxious about working with you anyway. The money is not going to really, you know, benefit me to a certain degree because you're still going to be there and we're not going to be getting on. So yeah, and again, it was nothing, oh, you know, calling my bluff or telling me about something. And I was just like, you know what? Sometimes you have to cut your losses. And somebody said that the way they will get rid of difficult clients is just to keep raising their prices until they until they decide to leave.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that if we're getting into any confrontation, just keep raising the prices. "Oh, our service has gone up. It's gone up."
Yeah. That's what I'm noting down.
Exactly. So that's a strategy right there. Raise your prices.
That's it.
But they can't afford you.
More?
I think yesterday's just brought up a brilliant point, because sometimes difficult people could be in the guise of a client or a customer. And, you know, actually understanding and valuing your service or your product is key. You know what's worth, and you know where you might go, all right, give a discount, you know, look after somebody. But if somebody's going to try and tear you down or try and get a good deal, you know, at your expense, it's okay to say no. You know, not everybody's going to like what you do, how you do it, you know, and if they keep coming at you, it's okay to just let them go, because there's going to be more people coming. So for me, dealing with difficult people, as well as raising your prices, which I think is brilliant, you know, actually don't be afraid to say no. Don't be able to, don't be frightened to say, okay, look, I'm happy for you to go elsewhere. You know, emails, coming back to the emails, the biggest lesson that I learned, okay, because I'm an emotional person, and I know that sometimes don't respond to that email, sometimes put it down, because at the end of the day, you know that the person could be difficult. So it's almost like you're looking for them to be difficult. So when you're reading, you're just looking for them. Okay, all right. And, you know, already you're creating the difficulty that may not even be there.
Yeah.
I remember reading an email one time, and I thought this person was being really, really negative about something that I had done. And then when I went back and read it, it was like totally something else. I'm like, wow, okay. That was a good thing I took a breath and came back and read. So my thing is, it's something that I learned at a place that I was working at, always believe the best. So at the end of the day, come from believing the best of a person first, so that you don't come from a negative place and also then become the difficult person. Yeah. Always be present, always look at the situation and just facts, be clear, keep calm, and don't take it in.
Yeah, very good points.
Okay, so with regards to the emails, what I normally do is like just type my response straight away, but save it as a draft, and then, as you say, reread the original email and then redraft your email just a few times, you know, just to make sure that, you know, it doesn't sound too aggressive. and it actually works, actually. And as you say, you have to sit back sometimes and think, okay, so are they directing at me, or because they're upset of something in their personal life? You with me?
Exactly.
And with regards to people like you work with, as I said before, you have to like try and get something in their life that you can latch onto and grow with that, you know, and hopefully become kind of friendish. But you know, sorry about that. We got a bit of technical issue with Maureen's camera, as you can see there, but it's okay. Yeah, and also I would say stay calm as well in all situations. I mean, you may be on the phone and you think, oh my God, I'm gonna explode, but just take some breaths before you respond to, like, you know, what they're saying on the telephone. Even if you want to say, do you know what, can I call you back in a minute, please? And then call them back a bit more calmer, you know? And if they're listening, maybe you can share your side of how or why this is happening, or why you might need information, or you might ask them, like, why are you directing your anger at me, or what have I done exactly, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think some people might find that as in bowing down, but I feel that's a bit more stronger than that. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Like, be the bigger person, so they say, you know. We don't want to come too aggressive now, do we? You know what I mean?
No, it all goes back to the
I
bigger
mean, it's good to be the bigger person, yeah, but you need to assert yourself when you know that you're right.
Oh yes.
So it's not that people should just walk over you and take liberties.
Yeah.
And you know, I think again, some of it is even just about your daily routine and how you even start your day. Like if you do meditation and your exercise or anything before you then start dipping into your world, because once you kind of have that time for yourself and the peace and you've calmed and you've looked after your mind and your body, after that, everything else kind of, whatever you get is like, okay, deal with that, blah, blah. So I think, again, it's because you never know what's going to come when, and from who. Some people that you like, oh yeah, we're calm, we're great. Sometimes you might have a difficult moment with them.
Yeah. And do you know what? It's okay, because we're all human and we're all individual, and some of these things happen. So the thing about it is that actually, I think, and I love what you said there, in terms of that, how you start your day, meditation, start from a grounded place, you know, change your state, don't react. There's all different things. When you know yourself, then you know how to manage how you react.
And articulate yourself too, you know. That's a
definitely.
Yeah.
And what you want, because at the end of the day, we can all be beastly and terrible as we want to be, right? But it's a choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people just don't remember that choice when they're passionate about what they expect from you and blah blah blah, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But your choice is to stay calm and get through that scenario. So.
I mean, I always say, like everybody else says, treat others how you want to be treated, and that's how I always think. At the end of the day, I always think about, how would I be in that situation, and how would I want to receive that, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Wow, without taking it to a whole nother conversation, all right, it was something that Yej brought up in terms of expectations. And it's that whole thing. I mean, we've had conversations about this in terms of that you may have an expectation of how you think somebody should act or should be. And they may have that of the same with you. But the challenges that we have is that because we don't communicate and talk to each other, half the time that person doesn't know what you expect of them. You just got that in your head. And so when they go against that, that's going to make you angry. And that could be going on for them as well. So again, that conversation is like, let's get clear. This is what's happened. I didn't understand. Let's clear the air and understand what you expect. And this is what I expect. Yeah. And you can move forward.
Correct.
That's good. Very true.
Oh, girls, fun to see you again.
Yeah, you too. This has been a great start to the new season.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks for watching. Like us, share us, comment on us, and see you on our next Elevenses.
That's it. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
You could do one.
I can only do one because I'm holding my phone.
Oh, yes. You're calling challenge today, aren't you?
I'll be back to regular double figures next time.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Having a good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.